The president, by the way, selecting Steve Moore to join the Federal Reserve. Steve Moore, of course, big proponent of a lot of the things the president has been doing to goose this economy and thinking that they're working just fine. He joins us right now. Steve, congratulations.
Hi, Neil. I still kind of have goosebumps when the president called me. It really floored me and asked me if I would do this. And I feel really privileged, and this is quite an honor, and looking forward. And I told the president, look, I will try to pursue and promote policies that increase wages and increase growth and prosperity. That's my whole agenda here, is what makes American businesses and American workers, better off. And so it'll be an interesting ride. And as I said, I'm just, you don't know this about me, Neil. I was in the pokey group in the 3rd and 4th grade. So for something like this, it's quite an honor.
Well, it should be. It's a great testament to you, Steve. Now, I know also, given the fact that you've been a very big Fed critic over the many years I've had the pleasure of knowing you, that you're going to be kind of like a bull in a china shop there, and maybe that was the president's intention. What did he tell you?
Well, look, I mean, I was critical of the Fed's last rate increase in December, and I think almost everyone agrees that was a big mistake. Remember, the Dow fell by several thousand points after that decision. Look, I'm for stable prices. I believe that the best Fed policy is keeping the price system stable. That's why you have a currency. I always go back to first principles. Why do you have a currency? So that it retains value. It's a medium of exchange, and the best way to achieve that is to keep prices stable. And that will be, and by the way, if you have stable prices on top of tax cuts, deregulation, pro-American energy policies, I'm one of these people, Neil, you've known me a long time. I think the potential for the American economy is 3 to 4% growth for as far as the eye can see.
Do you share the president's view that the Fed got in the way of that? You alluded to that last rate hike. Now, when he sat down with our Maria Bartiromo today, he went even further than that. I want you to react to this, the president with Maria on the Fed.
The world is slowing, but we're not slowing. And frankly, if we didn't have somebody that would raise interest rates and do quantitative tightening, we would have been at over 4 instead of at 3.1.
Not for that, we'd be looking at 4% growth. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, one of the things I love about Donald Trump, by the way, one of the reasons I agreed to work for him back in the campaign, I love his optimism about America. But look, if we could get
But he was right in retrospect, saying the Fed was overdoing it, right? Even market pros, those who are not fans of the president, said the Fed did overdo it. Now they risk going the other way. But what do you think?
And the Fed, the Fed had to put its tail between its legs back in late December and actually admit that it had made a mistake. Now, my point is that I'll just give you my kind of philosophy about this. I think we have put in place in the last 2 years under Donald Trump a very pro-growth set of policies. I was privileged to work on the tax cut. I think it's working phenomenally. We've got the deregulation. We got the government off the backs of our business. Very pro-American business. What's going on in the world, in my view, is we are the country that is the envy of the world. Everybody now wants to invest in the United States. That has created a demand for dollars, because if you want to invest in the United States, you have to have dollars. And when you've got that demand for dollars, you don't want to cut the supply of dollars. And I think personally, I think that's the mistake that the Fed make. Look, I'm not going over to the Fed to try to, I just want to promote these pro-growth policies. But, you look, I'm actually right now, Neil, and maybe I'm in the minority, I'm actually more worried about a deflation right now that's going on than an inflation. And deflation, we know from history, can be worse than inflation.
Well, are you worried about whatever's going on in Europe, where they have record low interest rates right now? Of course, we had this inverted yield curve phenomenon today that maybe something is afoot.
Well, look, Europe has been a flat, one of the problems, I agree with one of your previous panelists who said, look, the rest of the world is slowing, and that makes it very difficult. And look, we are in a global economy today. When the rest of the world isn't growing, it's hard for the U.S. to carry the rest of the world on our shoulders. So, yeah, we're going to get, probably less than 1.5% growth for the first quarter of this year, which is a dramatic slowdown from the 3.5% to 4% growth we had in the middle of last year. So, yeah, am I worried about that? Yeah, but I agree that, like with Larry Kudlow, I don't see a recession for as far as the eye can see right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to be the growth guy at the Fed if I ever get on there.
You're the growth guy. Well, I knew you when, and now you're going to the fancy schmancy Federal Reserve. Steve Moore, thank you very, very much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Neil.